The cameras were rolling slowly across a nearly empty film set. The lights were dimmer now. The silence felt heavier. And standing there at 94 years old was a man who had survived almost every era of Hollywood imaginable. Westerns, action films, Oscar-winning dramas. Decades of fame most actors could never even dream of reaching. But recently, Clint Eastwood reportedly reflected on a shocking truth about his early career that many fans never fully understood. Because long before he became one of the toughest icons in movie history, Clint Eastwood was quietly convinced Hollywood might never want him at all. Honestly, that's what makes this story emotional. People look at Clint Eastwood today and see confidence, strength, control. A legend who always seemed larger than life. But behind that image was a young man struggling with rejection, insecurity, and uncertainty during the earliest years of his career. And in many ways, that hidden struggle shaped everything he later became. Before the fame, Clint Eastwood grew up during difficult economic times in California. His family reportedly moved constantly while searching for stability during the Great Depression. Jobs were inconsistent. Life felt uncertain. And according to stories from his early years, Eastwood never appeared destined for Hollywood stardom. In fact, many people reportedly viewed him as awkward and unusually quiet. But here's what most people don't realize. That quietness would later become his greatest weapon. After working odd jobs and serving in the military, Eastwood slowly drifted toward acting almost by accident. He attended auditions, took small studio contracts, and spent years struggling to get noticed in an industry obsessed with polished charm and traditional leading men. And honestly, early Hollywood executives reportedly doubted him constantly. Some criticized his voice. Others questioned his acting ability. According to film historians, there were even moments when studio insiders believed he simply lacked the charisma necessary to become a star. That would have destroyed many careers immediately. But Clint Eastwood kept going. Then came Rawhide. The television western gave him national exposure for the first time, but what makes this story different is that Eastwood reportedly still felt trapped creatively. He had fame now, but not respect. Many actors feared becoming permanently associated with television roles during that era. And Clint reportedly feared exactly that. Then everything changed with one unexpected decision. An Italian filmmaker named Sergio Leone offered Eastwood a role in a low-budget western called A Fistful of Dollars. At the time, many American studios looked down on the project. Some reportedly considered it career suicide. But Eastwood took the risk anyway. And that gamble transformed movie history forever. Suddenly, audiences saw something completely different in him. The silence, the stare, the calm confidence. Clint Eastwood wasn't trying to imitate traditional Hollywood heroes anymore. He became something colder, more mysterious, more human. The Man with No Name trilogy didn't just make Eastwood famous. It reinvented masculinity in cinema itself. But behind the scenes, the pressure reportedly became overwhelming. Fame exploded globally. Expectations grew larger with every film. And over time, Eastwood became known not only as an actor, but as a fiercely independent filmmaker determined to control his own work. That independence became one of the defining themes of his life. Many believe his difficult early struggles taught him never to rely completely on Hollywood approval. And perhaps that's why he eventually built one of the most respected directing careers in film history through movies like Unforgiven, $1 Million Baby, and Gran Torino. But even success came with emotional weight. As the decades passed, Eastwood reportedly became increasingly reflective about aging, mortality, and the cost of spending a lifetime inside the entertainment industry. Friends and colleagues often described him as deeply disciplined, but also intensely private. And honestly, maybe that privacy came from remembering the young man who once feared he would never belong in Hollywood at all. Today, at 94 years old, Clint Eastwood represents something increasingly rare. Endurance. Not just survival inside Hollywood, but evolution. Because while many stars faded with changing generations, Eastwood adapted repeatedly without losing the quiet identity that first made audiences fascinated by him decades ago. And perhaps the shocking secret behind his early career was never really about rejection. It was about doubt. The kind of doubt almost every artist hides behind confidence. Because somewhere between the Western landscapes, the Academy Awards, and the silence between movie scenes, Clint Eastwood spent his entire life proving that sometimes the people least expected to succeed become the ones history never forgets. If you enjoyed this documentary, share your favorite Clint Eastwood film in the comments below, and subscribe for more cinematic stories about the legends who shaped Hollywood forever.